Roxy loves when I do that. Great morning. It's Monday morning motivation time. Triple M. Thank you guys for being on the call and live on Ustream. We're so excited. In the middle of this twister in LA, we're still getting our mindset right. No matter what kind of mindset. So it's November. It's cold. Most people are already thinking about Thanksgiving and Christmas. And you guys are already thinking about a better 2016. So let's get it. Our intention is for this call that we're going to be bringing you knowledge that's going to take you to the next level in 2016. So you're ready now, not in the beginning of the year. You're like, oh, I'm ready to take it on. You're taking it on now. So I'm so excited. We got this video by Tony Robbins that's going to be giving you guys success tools to change your mindset, change your finances, change your relationships. Whatever you want to better, these are going to be tools for you. Take your notes, get ready. We're going to have some shares at the end on the call-in line. And if you're on Facebook, Instagram, or Ustream, put your takeaways on there and we'll read them, because more perspectives always give us more value and more eyes to learn from and more ears to learn from. So without further ado, let's get my man Tony Robbins on the line.
If you really want to get lasting change, real results that stick around, what do you got to do? What are the most important things you've learned, Tony, in that area? And I tell people the most common thing people talk about is how they want to make a change in their life. But everybody wants a change, but nobody wants to work out. Everybody wants muscle, but nobody wants to train. See, one of the challenges that we have in our lives is we don't realize that the process of training ourselves, the process of conditioning ourselves actually feels incredible once you get that initial momentum. But most people don't. Why? Why do so many people say, well, I lost 100 pounds, the same 10 pounds 10 times, or they'll tell me, I'm on my 4th day without a cigarette, man. I'm doing really good. If you're counting the days, it's not lasting change. You just count the days, you can tell people how long you lasted. If you want lasting change, you've got to give up this idea of trying something. You got to decide you're going to commit to mastery. And when I say commit to mastery, what I mean by that is most people dabble. They talk about, well, I'd like to change my body. I'd like to make my relationship better. I'd like to have more passion there, but they don't know what to do. And even if they did, they don't have enough detail to be able to follow through. They haven't made the shifts in their own emotion and their psychology to follow through. And it isn't that difficult, but there is a path and it requires consistency. Think about it. Everybody overeats some of the time. Everybody gets angry or frustrated or sad or depressed some of the time. Your life is not controlled by what you do some of the time. It's what you do consistently. And here's the secret. Whatever you want to make better, you better make sure you measure it more often. Think about it. If you want to lose weight and you never look at a scale, that's how people find themselves 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight, or even 10 or 15, because it just kind of happens slowly and then all at once. What do businesses go out of business? Things are okay, and then all of a sudden they're in trouble overnight. It's not overnight. All of our success and failure in life comes from little decisions, little actions, little moments. Failure isn't an overnight event. It's failure to make the phone call. It's failure to say, I love you. It's failure to take care of your body. It's failure to invest some time in yourself so you keep growing and expanding and not just reacting to the world that's constantly demanding your attention. Success comes from doing the right things also, little things, saying I love you, taking the time for what matters most, your body, your mind, your spirit, your emotion, having a plan, and measuring your progress. That's the second thing we need. You got to commit to mastery, but you also really need to get yourself involved in what I call immersion coaching. Immersion coaching is as old as humanity. How have we passed on mastery of anything? Finances, crafts, ideas, business, politics. Usually you went to live with somebody. You went to work for somebody. You became an apprentice. And maybe decades or years or decades of your life, you'd commit time to be around that person day and night so you could see and feel all the little distinctions that make them so masterful at what they do. Today, people have no patience. We all want it right now, and people don't only not commit to mastery, but they rarely even find a real mentor or coach. They think they have all the answers, they try a few things, if it doesn't work, they run to something else. If you want a great jump in the quality of your life, an extraordinary jump in the quality of your life, you got to set yourself up to win. You got to set yourself up with a process that allows you to consistently grow, consistently enjoy your life, and consistently produce the results that you're really after. And I don't care what area of life you want to change, coaching is one of the most valuable tools in the world. Now, when I started my career, there was no coaching industry. I helped to father that industry almost 35 years ago. And it's kind of interesting. When I first started out, if somebody would have said, oh, one of the best ways you can help an executive perform at a higher level is get them a personal coach, I mean, people would have laughed at you. But today, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry because 70% of the Fortune 500 now say, in a recent study, if you want to find the top 3 ways to improve performance of an executive, one of those is personal coaching. But again, when I began, I'll tell you kind of the history of how this came about. I was a young man who was always looking for answers. I wanted to change my own life initially, physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. But as soon as I got answers, I always was coaching other people. When I was, in high school, I was Mr. Solution. If you had a problem, I had the solution. Especially if you were a girl, because then I was more motivated and I want to really help. But really, at that time, I would feed my mind. I didn't have a lot of coaches to come after. I fed my mind with books. I read a book a day. My goal is read a book every single day that's about personal development, improvement, psychology, physiology, something that could help you improve your life. And when people needed help, I had the answer. And I got hooked on having those answers. So I kind of started that coaching at that stage where I coached myself and people saw results. And those results made people ask me what to do. And that's how I got involved in it. But then as the years went by, I'm still a young man, but I was in my early 20s. And I developed this incredible arsenal of tools, a toolbox, a tool chest, if you will, of the very best tools to create change rapidly. Things that look like magic to people. Where I could take somebody and I would go on a radio show or a TV show and I would challenge traditional psychologists and psychiatrists and I'd say, give me your worst patient. I don't care if they have uncontrollable phobias. Have them come see me. I'll handle it in 1 hour. And I developed this idea that I was the 1 hour, the one-stop coach, the person that could help people make any change. And I built my career by actually doing that. I got on television and radio and I took people with lifetime phobias and turned them around. These are all just techniques and strategies that I didn't develop. I just kept looking for the best and I kept synthesizing it and bringing it forward. So when I started out, here I was, this guy helping people lose 30, 60, 90, in some cases 200 pounds. Or taking a guy that was barely surviving financially and within a couple of years of this counseling or coaching, as I started to call it, really got him to turn his business around and literally got him financially independent. Relationships that were falling apart. And I learned the distinctions to help couples change. And so when you start getting those types of results that are that measurable, people started giving me attention and the media started to come to me. And then what they wanted to know was this: what are you? And I thought, are you a guru? I said, no, I'm not that. You're Mr. Motivator. Like, no, I'm certainly believe in people having an inspired life. Like, think about it. Inspiration is pretty important. If you're not inspired, what is inspired? It means in spirit. It means there's an energy in your life. If you're not inspired about your life, what do you have? Nothing. But I'm really more about strategy. And they kept pushing me. Guru, motivator, what are you? And I said, well, you know what I really am? I'm a coach. And I came up with that metaphor. I mean, there's always been consultants in business. I wasn't talking about businesses. It was individuals. And I said, I'm not a therapist. I said, and I don't have a degree. People pay me because I produce measurable results. They pay me nothing unless I do it. That's how I set up my career. That's how I built my brand. And I said, for me, coaches are people that are not better than you are. A coach just has a different perspective. I mean, even back in those days, the best athletes in the days, the Gretzkys, the Michael Jordans, et cetera, they all had a coach. Still to this day, the best have coaches because the coach can see what you can't see because you're in the force. They're outside of it. And I know as an athlete, I was better than some of my coaches, but they made me better. So I said, that's my job. I'm a coach. Because to me, a coach is not better. They're a friend. They're an equal. They're there for you. There's somebody who cares deeply about your well-being, but they're also incredibly skilled to help guide you at the moment you really need it. And so I started promoting this idea of being a coach. And, the sports metaphor helped some people, but the media didn't buy into it very much. But I was able to succeed finally because I was able to keep measuring these results. I mean, I would go out and say, I'll come see me for one session. I'll handle this problem or you pay me nothing. And you can check it out for 60 days. I still use that formula to this day, as many of you know, with my products and services. So what was really fascinating, though, was along the way, there's a point after years of calling myself a coach, and there's no coaching industry, nobody talking to themselves as coaches. I remember at one point I hit a point where I was about to give it up. And Larry King even said to me on air one time, he said, what is this? You're a coach. What does that mean? And I was trying to explain peak performance coaching and strategy and so forth. And right about that time, suddenly coaching became the term of art. And everybody was a coach. Therapists started calling themselves coaches. Financial planners became coaches. It just became the term of art. So it's been a fascinating journey watching that word come in, because what I did is I helped build that term by making it based on real results. So, I'd go to the U.S. Army, and I went to this general, and I said, General, I can take any training program you have in the entire Army, any training program, cut the training time in half, and increase the competency. He said, you're crazy. I said, no, I'm expensive. We kind of giggled and laughed, and I was able to put together a deal, and I was going to pay nothing unless I cut, a training program in half and increase the competency. And he started with a pistol shooting training, 45 caliber pistol shooting. I never shot a gun before in my life, but I figured out the process. This is what I'm best at, of what the best people in the world did. They gave me the best shooter in the Army, the best shooter in the armed services, and their coach. Went underground, worked with these guys. They had me shoot a gun, and it has a bit of a kick, and I did so poorly, and they're going, what are you going to do? And you're just a kid. I was like 24 at the time. I said, well, I know a little bit about how to model what makes people successful in their mind and their emotions. Because pulling that gun, there's a certain amount of mechanics, but there's also a strategy of what you do in your head that allows you to target in and make this so successful. And my job is to uncover what that is, and I did. I'll give you a clue. All of these shooters that are the best in the world, they don't see the target far away. They mentally bring it closer. So when I designed the training program, the coaching program for all new recruits, I designed it so when they first shot the gun, they never shot the gun until they'd gone through the exact same motions, everything I'd learned from the best people. But then I put the target 5 feet away. So they go boom, and they shoot it right in the center the first time. Wow, boom, and they built on this success, whereas I was trying to shoot it from 40 yards away, and I felt like a failure. We build on success, and that's part of our success coaching system, our immersion coaching system. The bottom line is I got such great results that pretty soon I was coaching Princess Diana, President Clinton, Andre Agassi, the LA Kings. It just grew and grew and grew. And today I'm very proud to say that I'm the most successful coach of our type in the world. I get 7 figures to coach somebody plus a piece of the upside. And I have clients that I've had for 17 consecutive years at that investment level. One of them is one of the top 10 financial traders in the world. This is a man who's made $500 million when the market was destroyed in 1987. In 2008, when the market went through the floor, people lose trillions of dollars. He was up 23%. He's brilliant. But I literally have coached him for those 17 years, 7 figures a year, and it's all been based on producing these real results. I bring this point up to you not to brag, but to get across to you that what we do is different. Today, anybody can call themselves a coach. It's a joke. It's become a term of art for anything. Somebody can go to some class that somebody made up and be certified as a coach, but can they really produce measurable results for you? I have a system, and my system that I do for 7 figures one-on-one for an individual, I've now taught all of my coaches to facilitate. And you're not going to be paying 7 figures, 6 figures, 5 figures. I think it's a little less than 3 figures a month to give you an idea. It's pitifully small, but the reward is priceless. And the people I have are extraordinary. So, does coaching work? Gosh, regular training. All the research shows that if you want to increase productivity in yourself, in your life, or in a business, overall training will increase productivity by 22%. Any ordinary training will do that. But if you take ordinary training and you attach to it personal coaching, studies show it increases by 88% of your productivity, meaning the results you get. The type of immersion coaching we do is a whole different level. I'll tell you what the difference is. It's a combination of all the strategies that I've accumulated that are proprietary to myself and what I teach for the last 33 years. I've dealt now with 4 million people from literally 100 different countries. At this point, I have to be an idiot not to notice that there are certain patterns that make people successful and certain patterns that make people fail. Patterns that make people frustrated and angry and depressed, and patterns that make people feel passionate and alive and taking control of their life. And so I've put those together and I train my team in those. But the other part is when I started out, I was doing one-on-one work with people. And I loved that. It was incredible. But after a while, I saw, if I work with these people, a couple hours a month, maybe I'll get 20, 24 hours a year of coaching with them. It's fantastic. It's short. But if I could get them together for one weekend event, I could take group dynamics and learn from each other. And I could produce this energy like you have when you're at an NBA final championship game or a football game or a great baseball game. And all of a sudden, you got energy, you got group dynamics, and I could do 50 hours in a weekend and make it like the time of people's lives where you have this explosion of progress. And so then I thought events were the answer. And how we've come to our current immersion program is I began to realize, wow, people get this huge jump in immersion with an event. And then having somebody one-on-one who knows you individually working with you and helping you to hold yourself to a standard. Again, measuring your progress, helping to guide you, and doing it, in a way that's very convenient. You don't have to travel. They're on the phone with you, and they do it on the days that make sense for you, a couple times a month, and you're ready to rock and roll and go to a different level. So I began to combine those, and then we added our products. So that's how we have our current immersion system. So here's my offer to you. If you're serious, if you're not kidding yourself, and you really want to improve your life in any area, you know, for things to change, you got to change. For you to get better, for things to get better, you got to get better. It's in every one of us. And so what we have to do is have a system to do it. So take advantage of this immersion system, this results coaching system. This is a place where you can see your life really change because we've proven it over and over again. It has a money back.
Woo! My man Tony breaking it down. I got 2 pages of notes. Roxy, what you got for us?
All right. Okay, perfect. Awesome video, awesome takeaways. So, very first one, I loved how he talked about the process of training ourselves feels incredible, you know? So he talked about feeling, whenever you're trying to change something, like start training yourself to make you feel and think that what you're getting into feels incredible. You know, why do most people don't get in shape? Because they consider that painful. You know, they consider diets painful. They consider being healthy painful. But if you can start finding a way to make it feel great, then the results that you're going to produce are going to be completely different. He talked about everybody wants muscle, everybody wants to be toned up and healthy and all these things, but most people aren't willing to work for it. Why? Because they have a negative connotation attached to it. So I really, really like that. And then he said lasting change means giving up trying something. Like, stop telling yourself, hey, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, I'm going to do this. Like, don't just say that, but commit yourself to mastering it. You know, commit yourself to mastery, and that is completely different as just wanting to try something, because whenever you try something, you can give it up. But if you commit yourself to mastery, you've made already an upfront commitment and then on top of that, you said that you would master it. So a lot more powerful. And then he also said as whatever you want to make better, make sure you start to measure it, you know, whether it's like your weight loss, whether it's like in your work, whatever it is, like just make sure that you're always measuring progress. You know, like success doesn't happen overnight. He's like, it's making those calls. It's like failure. He's like, failure isn't like, it didn't happen overnight. It's not saying I love you. It's not doing those little things day in and day out. Where success is exactly the same, but it's the opposite. It's saying I love you. It's doing the little things that will lead to a successful life. So I really love that. And then he also said to set yourself up to win. And he was talking about in this section like about personal coaches and just getting a coach. You know, like a lot of the times I know in the past I was just like, well, I don't need this stuff because I already know it all, or I read books, you know. But there's nothing like having someone like guide you in the direction that you want to go. Because like he said, he's like, a coach is there to serve you he's there to serve you because there's going to be things that you can't necessarily see. So a coach helps you see those things that you're not seeing. You know, a coach is going to care for you so much that they're willing to guide you and they're going to guide you. But then also when you're not doing the things that you said that you want, they're also going to be that person that steps in and becomes your mirror and tells you exactly what you're doing wrong that's not producing the results that you want. So I thought that was really amazing. You know, like the best people, the top people in the world have coaches. Like, why wouldn't you have a coach? Why wouldn't we have a coach? Like, just think about those things, you know? Why wouldn't you immerse yourself into seminars? You know, if you can't afford a personal coach, perfect, no problem. But what about if you could commit yourself to quarterly seminars? You know, start putting $100 away, you know, like start saving for these things to make yourself better, because there's so many things sometimes within ourselves that are blocking us that you're not able to see because you're already conditioning. You see it like this is the way it is. But what if you did that? Like, just imagine how much your life can change. And then he also talked about inspiration. And he said to be inspiration is so important because it means that you're in spirit. You know, and if you're not in spirit, like you're not doing anything, you're like dead. So find yourself like inspired, like find yourself like ways to get inspired and to be excited about life. So that was some of my takeaways. And then I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Aubrey. I have
Awesome.
a lot of notes.
Great takeaways. Love it. I'm going to talk to some of my Herbalife members on the call. And if you're a client or just tuning in, you can take a lot of these nuggets as well. But I heard a lot of things that I think would give the Herbalife members some benefits. So number one, You know, they were talking about change feels good. It's just the initial momentum that's the toughest. And this is something I can really relate to, especially like when I'm going through a massive change. Like say I'm trying to change my body and I'm going to like a paleo style diet and I'm really trying to lean out. The first couple days is the hardest. After that, I feel amazing. You know, anytime you're trying to find something new and learn something new, the first things are the toughest because it's so different. After that, you see progress and it starts rolling. So just trust the process is what I got from that. I love that your life gets better with what you do consistently. It's not what you do every now and then. It's what you do consistently. So think about that for you and your goals. Don't worry about the cheat meal. Don't worry about the day that, you know, you maybe weren't as productive. What are you doing on a consistent basis, and are you measuring it? For example, right here in front of us, we have our whiteboard where we track our Herbalife business every single day. I can't sit down at our desk and not see it, so therefore I must track it. Remember, as an Herbalife member, you're an executive CEO of your own business. Do you think any CEO would not be daily tracking their business numbers, their customers, their team members? You got to be tracking that. Measure it consistently, just like your clients need to get their measurements consistently. You need to do the same thing with your business. I like that. Future doesn't happen all at once. Failure doesn't happen all at once. It's the little things. So don't worry about, I used to worry about, did I miss some big, huge opportunity? Did I mess up right there? No, failure is consistently done, just like success is consistently done. So what you do consistently, just like what we talked about, if you're doing the right things on a consistent basis, and it's the little thing, it's the saying hi to somebody and introducing yourself as an Herbalife member and, you know, somebody that's helping people in the area get healthy. It's the following up with your clients or your team members. It's the making sure you're staying consistent on your program. It's the making sure you're staying at your team trainings and Herbalife event trainings so you're continuing to get your knowledge and inspiration up. It's the little things that make the big difference. I like that. Set yourself up with a process. Coaching can and will take you to the next level. They said 1 out of 3 things that will take an executive to the next level is getting coaching. So if you're an executive, which you are, you're a CEO of your own business, are you getting coaching? Are you getting mentoring? Are you going to group training events to take your mindset and knowledge to the next level so that you can take your business to the next level? If executives are doing it, why wouldn't you? So I really like that. Do you have an inspired life? I really like this because there's been times in my life where I was motivated more by fear than by inspiration. What do I mean by that? I was like, I don't want this kind of life, so let me get into action. I don't want that to happen, so let me get into action. That was fear-based activity. And I don't want to do that anymore because that never lasts. Willpower doesn't last. You know, if you just don't want to get, overweight, you're going to eventually get overweight because you're just running away from fear and your willpower won't stay. But if you get motivated by inspiration of what a healthy, active lifestyle, what an Herbalife business creating an extra 6-figure income inside of your life could do for you, you get inspired by that. That's a different level of energy and it creates a pull on you. It's like gravity. Gravity never stops. There's never going to be a day where you drop an apple and it doesn't hit the floor. Gravity is super consistent, but the push can stop. If you're always like pushing, I want more, I want to have my Herbalife business do this, I want more, your push is going to stop because willpower doesn't last. Gravity and pull always does. Create inspiration-based activities. What are you inspired by? What lifestyle are you inspired to live? I'm telling you guys, it'll be a different kind of motivation and energy. I like that. Coaches can see what you can't, kind of what Roxy talked on. Are you getting coaching? Are you getting coaching? Who are you learning from? Are you learning from memes on Instagram? Or are you really talking to somebody that's done what you want to do and really learning from them? Roxy and I went to the Tony Robbins seminar, paid over $1,000 for our tickets, but it was more than worth it to learn from somebody like Tony Robbins. We get mentored by some of our upline mentors, and we stay in contact with them. Every week we're on a group call with them. Every single time. Why? Because if you want to get better, it's not going to happen by just walking down the street and the sunlight hitting you. Vitamin D doesn't do that much. It does a lot, but it's not going to change everything. You need to intentionally connect with people that are doing what you want to do. Seek out their advice. Don't just stay around your circle and think that's going to make everything better. We're contrast creatures. So the more you stay around your peer group and not seek outside of that, your mind is saying everything's all right. Everything is cool. I'm right in line with my group. If that's the kind of life you want to live, cool. But if you want to live a next level life, you need to get around some next level thinking people and start asking them questions. Seek out mentors. Who are you learning from? I want you to write that down on your paper. Who am I learning from? And are they teaching me what I want to know to go to where I want to go? And if they're not, and if you're not learning from anybody, you need to go find somebody. ASAP. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to you. There was times in my life where I didn't have a mentor. I don't know where I was going. There's times in my life I did, going in a different direction. All right.
We have a share.
Okay, awesome. And then the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is when he was talking about he was teaching at the pistol range for the military. Never shot a gun in his life. He was able to drop that time for that course in half and up the competency. That's not because he knows how to shoot a pistol well. He understood mechanics and psychology. Everything you do is not just mechanics. Most people on this planet know how to get in shape. You eat better, you get active. It's pretty simple. Drink more water. It's the psychology, the way they think, the way they process, the way their beliefs are set up that make all the difference. Same thing for you and your success. Don't ever downplay the psychology which grows by learning. Triple M, seeking out coaching, reading books. So let's get a share from Susanna. What's Susanna talking about?
All right. Thank you for sharing and posting it too.
Awesome.
It says, my biggest takeaway was having a plan and measure your progress. When I started my journey with Herbalife, I was weighing myself once a week and track my progress weekly. Up to July, if you asked my weight, measurements, and body fat percentage, I could tell you from the top of my head what it was. I had a plan to drop to 16% body fat, and I accomplished it. I recently noticed that since then I've maintained, but my purpose has been to get continued results. Yes, I have had some results because I can see them in my body, but I don't know what they are because I had stopped tracking them. Same with my Herbalife business. The last 2 months that we did not reach our personal goal within our business so happens to be the same 2 months we also didn't keep track of our volume and where it was coming from. I've kept track of my trials, but in order to see the bigger picture of our true measure of progress, we need to see the bigger picture and track all of it. With that said, time to stick to the plan I have already created for myself and track my progress.
Awesome. Powerful. Thank you for reading that. Thank you for sharing. So powerful share. More shares like that get me fired up. It's not good or bad. We all go through times like that. There's been times, just speaking from my experience, where I was rocking it, then I lost focus a little bit. That's normal. The difference between the successful and the not successful are those that are aware of that. Don't beat yourself. Don't judge over that, and just say, okay, it's time to get back on. The people that get back on are the people that win. The people that don't are the people that don't. It's very simple. And that's the next level of awareness that we really want to cultivate on this call. So thank you so much for that share. I'm excited. It's November. You guys killed this call. Let's get it. Now it's time to take this to the next level of impact. What that means is there was a lot of information on this call. Share it. We're going to post a YouTube video as soon as it uploads to Facebook. Share the link. Tag your friends. Repost on Instagram. If you're excited to share your results of your mindset elevation and pay it forward, invite others to be on the call next Monday morning. So excited for you guys. It's fourth quarter time, and there's no better time, because when you pour it on in this time of year, when others are taking it off, you go twice as fast. Let's get it, you guys. Peace. Adios.